Psychedelic mushrooms are beginning to enter the mainstream, and while a lot of people still think of them as just this drug that the hippies used back in the 60s, I'm here to tell you exactly how mushrooms have actually helped me become a happier, less stressed, and more effective entrepreneur, and how they might do the same for you. Now, quick disclaimer, I am definitely not telling you to go do psychedelic mushrooms. They're probably actually illegal where you live, so I'm definitely not going to tell you to go do illegal drugs. With that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get on to the video.
It starts when we're pretty young. People start asking us, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up? And we have no freaking idea because we're like 5 years old. So we start looking around and see what other people are telling us that we should want when we grow up and what kind of luxuries and things we should want. People say, oh, you should want to go and be famous on the internet. You should want to have lots of really nice things. You should want to travel the world and see everything. And since we don't really know because we're like 5 years old, we end up believing them and we say, okay, that sounds reasonable. And we choose a career that we think might get us some of those things. And maybe we look and we see, oh, entrepreneurship is like the thing to do, especially those digital nomads who they don't barely even work. They travel the world. They're just on their laptop and like taking pictures and shit. I want that. I want freedom. I don't want a stinking 9 to 5 that's just going to suck my life away. And so we start these little side hustles and little businesses and we start working for our freedom. And eventually we get it. And we have our freedom and we're like, yes, we got it. But then the stinger kind of comes and hits. It feels kind of empty. It's really not that meaningful. And we're kind of left wondering, what's going on? I thought this was supposed to be the answer. I thought the freedom and independence and financial and locational independence was going to be the never-ending answer for a happy life. And then the spiral of meaninglessness starts, and we're left wondering with two options. Either we just keep our heads down grinding and hoping it'll work itself out, or we kind of stop and we reevaluate our path. I stopped and reevaluated. See, this is my story. I was really young. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I liked playing drums and riding my skateboard. And eventually people started asking me what I wanted to do for college, and I decided I wanted to be an engineer, aerospace engineer. And this was partially genuine, but also partially driven by a desire to be smart, like my brother, who was an engineer. And then that kind of faded into entrepreneurship and an obsession with freedom, digital nomad, financial and locational independence. And I built up a business that allowed me to do just that. I got my freedom. I was working a handful of hours per week while traveling the world in places like Costa Rica and Mexico, being my digital nomad self, living my dream life, or so I thought. You see, after I reached this goal I had for myself of financial and locational independence, I had an epiphany. And that was that I realized that there was no goal. Financial and locational independence was not something to chase after, something to base your life around as this is the goal that I'm trying to get to. In fact, there was no goal at all. Instead, I should try to live my life day by day, choosing activities that provide some sort of inherent fulfillment within them, instead of looking for it at the end of my labors. So then the question becomes, well, what activities do I choose? What activities bring me some sort of inherent fulfillment? And that is a hard question because it requires us to cut away all the crap that everyone else has thrown up onto us, telling us what we should do and what we should want, going back to the beginning of this little story. And that's really hard. But this is where mushrooms come in. Mushrooms have helped me cut away all of that crap that everyone else has thrown on top of me and told me that I should want. It's kind of clean slate, wiped it all away. And it helps me get in touch with the real me, the genuine me, the little kid me who just liked playing drums and riding his skateboard. The me that wasn't super concerned about being successful. And it helps you get in touch with what you actually want then. Because if you don't have all this crap that society's thrown onto you, and your family's thrown onto you, and everyone else is thrown onto you, maybe out of love, but if you don't have that stuff, then you're just left with the things that are actually true to you. Now, I know I might be sounding like I'm saying, oh, dude, mushrooms are like the secret sauce to finding your purpose and your passion in life, bro. You should just take mushrooms and your life will be so rad. That's not what I'm saying. And it won't be. Even if you find your passion, your life will not just be this never-ending blissful state of, oh, I'm following my passion and it's so much fun. No, it's gonna suck at times, all right? You're gonna get up in the morning and be like, God damn it, I don't want to do this passion thing. But that's not because it's not your passion or it's not meaningful to you. It's actually because you're afraid. You are afraid of failing at the thing that is most important to you. So if you're in the stage of like, I don't know what my passion is, first of all, I don't think that there's just one thing that like that's your passion, nothing else. But if you want to get some clarity and get some ideas, ask yourself, what am I most afraid of doing? See, for me, I was most afraid of doing this video, getting on a camera and acting like some sort of like self-helpy type guy. Like, who am I? How could I possibly have anything meaningful to contribute when I'm still so young and don't know shit? And I was and still am very afraid of other people calling me out on that. But you know what? Here I am. I'm doing this thing, and it feels damn good, actually, to just conquer that fear and accept and embrace that if other people are going to call me names or call me out, that's all good. And I'm just going to keep doing my thing for the purpose of just doing it. Not concerned with what it'll bring or what kind of fruits it might produce, just doing the thing itself, because that's all I need. And that's how I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And mushrooms were an integral part of helping me get here. You see, my first mushroom experience, I learned that I was not pursuing this whole digital nomad life because I had a deep love for business and travel. Rather, it was because I was terrified of death and I didn't trust the world. Huh? Yeah. So I saw independence as a way of protecting myself from others and somehow also my own mortality. Now, ultimately, I learned to embrace my own mortality, and I stopped becoming so fixated on using independence as a way to try to prevent it. And when I did this, it provided me the space and the mental clarity to really reflect genuinely on what I actually wanted. I didn't come from a place of fear. And I started using these business productivity skills I developed when building this digital nomad business now to writing and making these videos. See, I no longer have the anxiety every single day of making it. When we're so young and we're looking at all these successful businessmen and entrepreneurs, we're like, oh, I really want to make it. I don't really have that anymore. And it's because I know that I make it every single day when I sit down to just write or record a video. That's making it. It's in the act in itself. Now, my experiences with mushrooms since that first journey have simply reinforced that same message. I am enough. I am complete. I am whole. Relax. And when you come from a place of wholeness and completeness and ease and not of fear, then your work is so much better and your results, paradoxically, are so much better. You know that you don't need to be doing it, but that doesn't make you not want to do it. It makes you do it even more and with more love and more care, and it creates better products, better art, and better results. Because you're playing for the game itself, not this imagined pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And that is how mushrooms have made me a happier, less stressed, and I believe more effective entrepreneur. I hope that the next time you hear someone mention mushrooms or psychedelics, the first thing that comes to your mind is not that they're just some crazy hippie drug, but that they're actually very valuable and provide very useful lessons for ambitious entrepreneurs and people in the regular day-to-day world. If you want to see a full breakdown of what a mushroom ceremony is actually like, I did a whole video breaking down my first experience doing a ceremony in Costa Rica that you can check out on my channel, and I will link here somewhere. Now, one last point that I want to make. If you are at all considering doing mushrooms, or you're just sold on this idea of like finding your purpose now that I said will be so easy if you just do mushrooms, it's not what I'm saying, but if you decide that you want to do mushrooms, I highly recommend that you work on establishing a meditation practice before you actually do it, at least for a couple weeks or so. Because I think that having that level of self-awareness you develop through meditation is really, really valuable, if not crucial, to having a very fruitful mushroom experience like the ones that I was talking about. So if you want to do mushrooms, establish a meditation practice. And if you have always had trouble establishing a meditation practice and you wanted to, I have another video called How to Actually Achieve Your Goals that I'll also link to, that helps you with developing habits and can definitely help with getting a meditation practice going. And with that, we reached the end of the video. If you know someone who you think would find this video either helpful or valuable or entertaining, then please share it with them. And if you want to see any kind of videos like this, definitely subscribe and you'll be notified when I come out with new ones. And it'll be great for everyone. Alrighty, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.